Let's see if we can do this, guys, in between gusts of wind. So, I've got so much coffee in me right now, and I'm shaking like a dope dealer at a crackhead convention, you know. So, good and jittery. It's about 10 o'clock here tonight on a Friday night. No, we're just putzing around. I got home a little bit too late to really get much milling done, so keep moving on some progress. I figured I'd get some of these tying members done for the queen post setup. So, cutting these tenons the old-fashioned way. Well, not really that old-fashioned, using the Bigfoot. We're cutting them up. I tell you what, this beater stick right here is beautiful. Much better than what I had, I'll tell you that. Can't thank Chris enough. So, we've already used it a little bit tonight. Worked great. It actually worked really well. Very comfortable to use. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you on the other side of it. There's going to be a little voiceover in between because I've already shot some tonight. So, it is a little bit windy. The tarps are a little bit noisy. But anyway, stay tuned, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Boy, I like cutting these. These things are nice and easy. There's only 4 joints I have to cut on these part of the queen post setup. So these are the tying members to the queen post. These are what's going to hold the queen post together, I guess, for lack of a better term. You have 2 tenons and 2 brace mortises with housings. Nothing to it. This timber was it's pretty neat timber. I got a really big patch of wane on it. You can see right there. And I tell you, by the time we get to the end of the video here, you'll see how nice we were able to make that look. That's going to be a really, really nice look in the second floor of that wood shop. I've thrown around a little bit doing some curved braces for the wood shop, but I decided against it for time savings. But when we add on to the house, they said we're going to be doing a timber frame addition onto the house. I want to use some curved brace stock, and those will of course all have to be scribed in. So here, using the body of my framing square to lay out the 2-inch tenons. Cardinal rule for me, I check that square on that saw every time I go to use it. You know, you throw it in the toolbox, things like that. Once in a while, it's going to get out of square, so we always check it. But now I got this saw used for $350 off of Flea Bay, and it's been a good machine, but I think the motor's starting to give me a little problems with it. The wrong blade on there for ripping, and I've probably done a little bit too much ripping with it, overheated it a couple times. It's still working all right, but worst comes to worst, I'll get a new power head for it. They're pretty cheap comparatively speaking to a lot of the other stuff. Sometimes I find it's easier to do a drop cut than to sit there and churn the timbers 100 times. You know, it's just kind of how I do things. But tonight, you know, I'm still getting used to doing the voiceovers. It's a little bit different. You know, sit here, watch yourself, and try to narrate through it all. But we'll get better at it as we go. These tenons are really pretty easy to cut off of the sawmill. You know, a lot of times for bigger tenons like these, I'll keep them on the sawmill and cut them. But sometimes it would take me more time and more energy to get those things back onto the sawmill and try to cut those tenons. The 10x10s are a different story. You know, they're big enough to where I can't cut through both sides with the Bigfoot there. So I'll just, like right here, I'll just do them with a big circular saw. Now there's a way you can deal with laying out wane on your timbers. Use a little straight edge across and connect the dots. But all in all, we had a pretty good night. I mean, I didn't even get out there to start working till 9:30. It's about 2 a.m. now. And coffee's still working, I'll tell you what. I'm getting being quiet because everybody's sleeping except for me, of course. So here we go back in the time lapse. Well, there she is with the tenons cut into it. And now we're at a point now where I want to clean that wane off, get all that inner bark off of there. There is nothing better than a good sharp draw knife. Just like any of your other edge tools, a good sharp, nice edges. Anything I have here, chisels, planes, any of that, if I can't shave the hair off my arm, I've said it before, they're not sharp enough. And it's something that gets checked daily. And I touch them up as needed. The framing chisels I'll touch up every few times out. I keep my eye on it. The draw knife, same thing, every few times out. Planers, I've got to sharpen them again because I could tell trying to use that little hand plane I was using earlier just wasn't quite shaving the way it should. I found with those smaller planes, that's a little Stanley I have. I have a harder time setting those up, eyeballing the blade on it than I do the larger ones. It's just like anything else. The bigger it is, it's easier to see it, easier to make adjustments. No different in like my work day. When I'm working on equipment, it's a lot easier for me to work on bigger stuff than the small stuff. You can see everything that's right in front of you. It's really kind of the same for timber framing. I'm finding out as I go. I've done a lot of intricate woodworking over the years, and this is just like that, only larger, but it's a lot easier for me just because you can see everything. You can see your mistakes and fix them a little bit easier. But on the other hand, I've also noticed that a mistake shows up much more visibly on something like this than it does on like a set of cabinets or something like that. But so that draw knife, she works nice. That bark peels off really easy off of there. You can get it down to bare wood real easy. Just gives it a nice clean look, Pardon me yawning here. I guess it is after 2 in the morning. And a lot of you guys wonder, I've had some comments, what vitamins do you take? They must be working. Stuff like that. How do you put in these kind of hours? Well, you hit points where you want to crash. It's funny, I was watching Matt Cremona's live feed the other night, which was pretty good, and he was talking about how he got started in this and how many nights he was up 1, 2 in the morning working in the shop. Everybody was asleep, and I'm no different. I find I get more done later at night than any other time. The phone's not ringing, nobody's bothering me. I'm not worrying about spending more time with the kids, I'm out there doing my thing. Pardon me. I'm out there doing my thing. It's relaxing. I usually have the radio cranked up, probably pissing all the neighbors off, but at least I live out in the country, so I can get away with that. So anyway, we're about to the tail end, and before we let it go, I kind of want to tell you guys about another channel that Tinian shared with me that's really cool. It's called Acorn to Arabella. Amazing wooden boat build they have. They're building a big wooden boat, and they're doing it the old-fashioned way. Awesome to watch. If you guys like craftsmanship and you want to see a couple guys doing everything they can to make their dreams come true, absolutely amazing. They don't have a lot of subscribers yet, and I'm very surprised, but I'm finding out, it's kind of hard to get yourself out there, and sometimes you need a little help. So if we can give them a little bit of a boost here on this channel, they might pick up a few subs out of it. But I think a lot of you guys who are tuning in for this build would probably really enjoy their build. That's some of the best editing and camera work I've ever seen on YouTube. These guys are really good. So I'll put a link to their channel at the end of this one, and I'll put a link in the description below for them. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me again tonight, and I'll catch you on the next one.